each one of you. I'm extremely glad to be here, irrespective of all the ups and downs that are happening. We tried the YouTube stream, it did not happen, and now we are here on Zoom. And let me tell you how many of us are here. So, we are more than about 65 of us. And this should have shaken up our confidence today to do this. And we were also in two minds whether we should do or whether we should not do, how should it be, and what it should be. But we are right here, and we are very, very happy. So, first of all, let me congratulate and thank the Student Council who did not give up on this, irrespective of all the ups and downs that happened today. There was a network issue, there was a streaming issue, and all of that. And we still want to do this, and we still are doing this. And Zoom is our survivor today. So, thank you to Zoom. Let me first of all introduce myself, and so that you also get the confidence of who am I and why should I be talking about conquering with confidence. So, are you with me on this? If yes, just quickly say yes on the chat so I know that yes, there are a lot of people who are here to listen to me, to learn. Okay, so Vijay Chandrakant. So, okay, we are getting responses. Thank you so much. Now, before I go further, there is one question I have for you. How many of you are here because conquer with confidence? And how many of you are here because it was an obligation to the college? And I want honest replies. Those of you are here for learning, right? Learning. Those of you are here because of college obligation, right? College. Okay, raise. What does the raising hand mean? Learning. Super. So as much as you're excited about learning, I am excited about telling you some brilliant hacks, some brilliant tips, some brilliant things which are really going to make you a confident person, and there will be more opportunities open for you, and I can promise you that. So before moving further, let me just introduce myself quickly. So my picture is hidden behind this. But anyways, so my name is Jaya Obhan, and I am the founder of Power Up Business. We do a lot of work with individuals, entrepreneurs, and corporates for their people development, which means that I help people to develop their personalities, to develop their skills, the soft skills, those skills which help them connect with others better, which help them sell better, which help them create rapport, which help them in a lot of areas of their own personality. So when you think about personal growth is when I come into the picture. So I have shared with you a few of my clients with whom I have worked. So I've worked with IBM, I worked with Accenture, I have worked with PwC, and a lot of those icons that you can see. I have been into the industry now for more than about 17, 18 years. And that's how I get to learn more and more in my own field, and share more and more to more and more people, right? So I have worked 7 years full time with ICICI, Tata Teleservices, and Reliance Infocom. Then I started training graduates for personality development in Nigeria. This is back in 2012. After that, I had an opportunity to train more than 100 corporates and colleges for people development. I have also authored my first book, which you can see right here, called Stuck in Love. And I have been awarded this year the best motivational speaker and trainer of the year by Aspiring She. So are you convinced that you give me the opportunity and I have the right to talk to you about confidence? You trust me that I'll be able to give you that kind of knowledge? Then you may please type yes. Yes, so already Amog, Riya, Pritesh, Prachi, Hiral, Dilip, Mohil, Sakshi, thank you. Right? The reason I'm asking you questions is the more we keep this interactive, the more fun and energy we will have in this, and the more learning will come to us, right? So let's start with the topic today, because I have been given a warning that we have to wind it up less than an hour. So no problem, we'll do it in that. So first of all, talking about confidence. Okay, I think you're not able to see this. Now, what exactly is that thing which brings in us confidence? Now, at so many occasions, you must have felt, or I'm sure that all of us feel nervous sometime or the other. So I'll tell you my example. First time when I had to give a speech on the stage, and there were about 2 to 50 people there in that hall, and that was the very first time. You will not believe me, my legs were shaking. I mean, my whole body was shivering with nervousness so much that I was not sure I'm going to talk. So what happened is, I went on the stage, I put up that image of looking confident. I told myself, nothing doing, I am confident and I can talk, but inside I am scared. But in that also, my nervousness still showed up because I did fumble a little and I was going so super fast, my God. So that which I had to speak in like about 20 minutes, I finished it in 12 to 13 minutes. That was the kind of speed. So whenever we are nervous, whenever we are not so confident about ourselves, our speech is usually very fast, because we think that maybe the opposite person may not be so interested. So let me finish my entire conversation quickly. So this is about stage fear, but there are many occasions when we feel nervousness. Now, what are the three techniques to overcome this nervousness? Now, this nervousness for your stage fear is also about stage fear. I request everybody to please be on mute so that it will be clear for everybody to listen to me. Thank you. So, you can have nervousness either for stage. So somebody had asked the question for stage fear. You can feel nervous before an exam. You can feel nervous when you're maybe proposing to your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You can also be nervous at so many occasions, right? So what is it that we must be doing to overcome that nervousness and bring in confidence in us instantly? Like, it is practice, it is experience, and slowly all of us increase our confidence, no doubt about it. But there are certain occasions when you don't have that much time to sit down and make yourself confident. What is it that you're going to do at that time? So the quick three things that are going to work for you are physiology. Now, what do I mean by physiology? Physiology is our body. So we need to do something with our body that already brings us in that state of mind. So when we do workshops for the depressed, we also give them what they need to do with their body to overcome that. When I'm now giving you a workshop on confidence, let me tell you, putting your body in the correct posture. We might be underestimating this, but believe me, as a psychotherapist, I can researched, guaranteed content tell you that when you are in a perfect and standing out posture, it does give you a little confidence. And how? Because if you are drooping, and if you're drooping like this and sitting, no, in any case, your blood flow is not moving so much. So it is anyways going to make you feel less energetic. But if you're straight, right straight, it automatically increases your blood circulation, and hence it little bit charges you up. Okay, this is science. So your physiology is very important. So if you're out to do some work which needs confidence, hold your posture confidently, stand up straight, sit up straight, and then talk, right? That is the first thing. What is the second thing? Previous success. Now, what do I mean by previous success? Now, the more you will keep succeeding at doing things, even when you have fear or even when you have nervousness, the more you are training your brain to keep doing that with a particular kind of confidence automatically. So even if you're not able to perfectly perform something, or even if you're not able to do something as much confidently as you wished you could do, still do it, because action is going to give you some amount of either failure or success. But even the failure will then take you to success, because you will know that, okay, I have at least tried this road, I know what happens here, right? So do not be scared to take action, because your previous success will give you more and more and more confidence. right? And definitely at, okay, so we are because talking about that moment when you need instant confidence. What you can do is you can go back in history of your life and think about that one thing which you did and it happened successfully. Superb. It could be a simple thing like trying a recipe and being good at that recipe, or that recipe coming out extremely well tasting or something like that. Think about what exactly did you do at that moment, and I can guarantee you, okay, it is my guarantee to you, that there is only one thing that might have worked for you. And what is that? Belief. Now if you see, I have written 3 techniques, and on the left hand side of that there is a wheel. Can you see that wheel? Please type in a yes if you can, if you have seen that wheel already. Just let me know that you have figured where the wheel is. Just mention a yes. Okay, okay, got it. Great, great, thank you. So in this wheel, if you can see, there are 4 things mentioned. One is belief, potential, action, and results. Now this works like a cycle. That is the reason I have given the picture of a circle or a wheel or whatever. How this works is, if you believe that you can do something, for example, there are some students who will feel, यार सीए तो अपने बस का है ही नहीं, छोड़ दो. That is your belief. Why? Because maybe your experiences in the past, your marks in accounting or maths or something has made you feel that it's not my cup of tea. For some people, for some students, it might be, they will say, writing a book, oh my God, that's not me, right? So this is already set into your mind that writing a book is for somebody else, doing CA is for somebody else, becoming an air hostess is for somebody else, becoming a pilot is for somebody else, becoming a doctor engineer is for somebody else, because you have tuned your brain to think, no, I can only do this. This is my only limitation. So if you're believing in that, then there is no way that you can reach the next level of getting the potential of doing it. But if you start believing, okay, and now let's talk very specifically about believing in some dream that you might have. Maybe you want to buy a Mercedes or a BMW or something with your own money. That is your dream. But somewhere you are always doubting that dream, that how will I buy a BMW? I'm only 19-year-old, I'm only 22-year-old, I'm only 25-year-old. I mean, that is for all oldies now. When they become old, then they start buying all this because they make money. That is your belief. And if that is your belief, then you need to break it, break that pattern immediately. Why? Because if you will believe that, maybe 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line, I am going to have a BMW, or it could be anything, okay? Your dream could be anything, maybe becoming a successful singer, or maybe becoming anything, or becoming a motivational speaker. Anything that comes to your mind, that this is what I want to do. You want to become a public speaker, but you have a lot of stage fright, so you are not even confident talking in front of your class when you have to. So what belief comes to your head? That no, 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 I can never become a public speaker. So that is what I mean by belief, and that belief has to be broken if it is limiting anything in your life. So the first thing is believing in I can do it. So what is that thing that is making you nervous? Your belief system is telling you that this is not for me. There are 20 people watching me. What will they think about me? What if I am not successful? What if I fail in this? What if something happens to me? What if this? What if that? All these fears are surrounding you, and they have blocked your belief. So whenever you are feeling nervous about something, understand your own psychology, that you are feeling scared of something, and hence you are telling your belief system that this is not something that I can do, and you're feeling nervous. So the next time you want to do something, or you want to like achieve something and immediately feel confident about it, the only thing and the best thing that you can do is to believe in yourself. Just think, yes, I will do it. So I just thought, yes, I'll go and I'll speak. It's okay, I will see. Even if I'm scared, I'll do it while being scared. So that is the first stage. The first stage is believing. When you believe, automatically, slowly, you start developing the potential of it. And when you start developing the potential for it, you take more and more action to reach that goal. And when you take more and more action, whether you're going the wrong way or the right way, whether you're failing, whether you're succeeding, you are going to reach that goal. That is 100% guarantee. So if somebody has a goal of maybe losing weight or maybe losing like about 5 kilo in 6 months, suppose that is your goal. So first of all, you need to believe, okay? It's not that only those celebrities or those people have all the tricks and trips and techniques to work on their body or eat that kind of diet. They don't eat anything extraordinary, okay? So my building has like loads of celebrities and they all eat what we eat. It's nothing different at all. So you need to believe that it's not that it's only for celebrities or XYZ. I can take care of my body in the best and the simplest way and I can reach that goal. This is just an example, okay? That may not be your goal, but if it is somebody's goal, then how you need to think. So I will now think, okay, 5 kilo in 6 months, easy target. Now I will come back. I will break it down and I will see, okay, if in 6 months I want to lose 5 kg, so every month at least I need to lose about 800, 900 approximately. Chalo, 1 kg you lose, so then end of 6 months you have lost 6 kgs. You have overachieved your whatever goals, right? Your target. So you break it down like that and then you start working out or you start focusing on it. Make it your mission that every day I have to exercise, every day I have to cut down on carbs, every day I have to drink so much water, every day I have to walk so much, every day I have to not eat junk food, and so many other things which we already know are existing for weight loss, but we don't want to do them because we want to be in our comfort zones. So then results will never come, right? But if you take action in the direction and you genuinely do something to achieve that goal or that target or that dream, you are definitely going to achieve that result. So this cycle works. And what happens when results are achieved, you become more confident that, oh, I have done it. And you know that eureka moment, and you again go back to believing more on yourself. So human brain works like that. Human brain works like that. How it works? If you believe, if you train it to believe in whatever is your goal or your dream, it will help you get the potential. You will automatically start taking action and automatically the results will be achieved. And then when good results are achieved, you will get more confident and more beliefs will become stronger. So this cycle will go on and on. And if you don't believe in yourself, then everything is ulta. No results, no action, no potential, zero. Yeah, so far so good. Already feeling little confident? If you're feeling confident already, type in a yes. Let me see if you're already feeling confident and you want to stand up and start working out. Okay, I'm getting lots of yeses. Superb, superb. Simply superb. Now, let me not go very far away. 2.5 months back when everything locked down, all the public speakers, all the trainers, everybody was out of work, out of job, lost confidence, highest of highest lost confident cases in the last 2.5 months. So when I do therapy also, most of the people who come to me were telling me, I don't think that anything will happen now. I have lost my confidence. No work will happen. Nothing will happen. This, that. But trust me, if you have the confidence that no, I can do it, something else will happen, then there are a lot of ways. I shifted everything digitally and trust me, I'm busier than what I used to be when we used to have face-to-face meetings, right? Because now the entire world is your audience. You can reach out to anybody thanks to social media, right? So never, ever, ever doubt anything that you want to do. So that is the first thing that I wanted to talk about. let's move forward. Now, confidence building, you are your toughest sell. Once you believe, everyone else will too. So any of you who has a belief, who has a wish, who has a desire, who also is willing to build potential and do that circle nicely, still they will have one fear which is, I don't know, universal in this entire world. Okay, I'm not talking about India, I'm talking about the entire world. And what is that? That we think that, will others believe in what we are doing? Will they understand what we are doing? Will our parents let us do it? That is the biggest worry which keeps, threatening our belief. So if that is what you're thinking, then it's very easy for you, because the minute you believe in yourself and you are sure and you are confident, again, my second guarantee is people will start believing in you and they will stand behind you. That will happen. Okay, now this thing is something that you will really need to understand patiently. So you can also take notes or take a picture of it, so that you can keep reminding yourself of this, that how is it that we can improve our confidence. Improving confidence, there are two sides to improving confidence. What are they? The ultimate aim is to feel more confident in yourself and your abilities, and it is also worth considering how you can appear more confident to other people. So one is feeling confident, which will happen with time. It cannot happen overnight. But the other is that you are not feeling confident, but you anyways have to do something, and you will go out and do it, and you will look confident, right? Both the things work. Okay, both the things work. Now, how they work and what are the ways that we can improve our confidence levels? Ways to improve confidence. Let me give you some tried and tested ways. This is not something new which you must have not heard of. Planning and preparation. So if there is anything that you're planning to do, if you have a proper plan for it and if you're well prepared for it, then you will definitely be very confident. Now, today the lecture that I'm having with you all is an age old, like from 2012 till 2020, 8 years continuously I have been talking on this subject, and I have been applying it on my life, and I have been achieving so many results for myself and the people whom I mentor. But even today, when I have to come on a Zoom call, or I have to mentor somebody, I still make some fine tuning changes. I still prepare for it, so that if the slide doesn't work, if maybe there is some, and today so many things happened. YouTube was not working. I was ready to go on live without my slide because I was prepared. So nothing is going to scare me. I will be open for everything, and when you're open for everything, you'll have a better connect with other people. It doesn't panic others also. So planning and preparation is extremely important. Whatever it is that you're planning to do, please be very well planned and well prepared for it. Learning, knowledge, and training. I think even if I just read it out, you will understand. But when I say learning, knowledge, and training, it would also mean that you read a lot of books. You invest time in self-development. Okay, so only investing in those expensive shoes and just dreaming about those expensive shoes, or that expensive dress or that expensive jewelry. If you invest on your own self, and more than money, I will suggest that you invest time in yourself. Learn things which will make you a more confident or a more knowledgeable or a more helpful person. Because in the coming time, whenever you are set out to do a job or a business, you are going to be associated with companies or clients on the basis of what is it that you can solve for them. So if you have that kind of knowledge, if you have that kind of ability to solve a problem, the market is open for you, right? And then today, if we are talking about huge success, huge career dreams, then obviously we are supposed to be equipped with it. So please invest time. in your own development more than anything else, and it will always help you. It's my guarantee. It will always help you. So many guarantees I'm giving you today. Optimism. Now, optimism doesn't mean positive thinking. Now, what has happened is, from the time somebody has unmuted, if you could please mute yourself back. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so what has happened is, because of secret and law of attraction and these things have become so much aware in everybody's mind, which is very good. It's about your subconscious mind and all of that. But if you connected with the practical life, then you just cannot sit down and always have a positive thought, because so many things keep happening. Sometimes you will also have negative thoughts. Now, of course, you need to put away your negative thoughts, and you need to imbibe the positive thoughts, but you need to be optimistic. Now, what is optimistic? Optimistic is being positive along with being aware, both the things. Okay, so only being positive is not going to help. It doesn't work. Only being aware and always thinking negative won't help. If you combine this two, if you're aware that okay, bad things happen, relationships break, pandemics come, people get sick, so many things happen, but there are still things that we can manage and cope up and keep moving forward while keeping ourselves at peace, satisfied, and always growing, right? So that is what optimism is about. Now, the next point is very, very crucial for anybody's life, which is your peer group or your role model. So if you have a dream of becoming somebody who might be having certain assets of their personality, of their material life, or anything, you need to choose very carefully. You need to 100% have a role model, because what happens is, when we have a role model, we model it in a way that it makes our personality much, much better, because then we learn those things which they have already learned and left the footsteps behind. So it is extremely important to have a role model, and a good role model. Peer group is something that I think I can talk about this for one entire session, but I will not do that. You become who you spend your time with. My mentor Tony Robbins has taught this to us, and I totally believe in this, because the minute I changed my peer group, I'm not just talking about friends, I'm talking about all the media content that I'm putting in myself is also my peer group. I am talking about whatever it is that our parents, relatives tell us is our peer group. Whatever it is that our friends tell us, whatever it is that our teachers tell us, whatever is the inflow of information that is going inside you is coming to you by your peer group. They are the people who are around you. Usually peer group is used for friends, but understand that anybody who is giving you any kind of input. So today when I am talking to you, I am your peer group. You are intaking something from me. So it is extremely important for you to have a peer group who is aligned with your what? Who is aligned with your goal. Now let me give you an example about this. Let's again take the example of losing weight. Okay. Now again, you have a target of 6 months, losing 5 kg. Every month say 1 kg. So 6 months 6 kg, every month 1 kg. And you are around people who are party crazy, okay, who want to have desserts, who want to have outside food, who want to have oily food, who are always obsessed about the idea of let's go try this restaurant, let's go try this pastry shop, let's go try this, let's go try that. If you are surrounded by these kind of people, tell me, will it be easy for you to reach your goal of weight loss, or will it be easy for you to lose weight when you are around people who will tell you, come on yaar, I'm going for a run, you want to join me, then come? Or who are talking to you on the phone and they're like, I'm walking, I'm taking a walk along with talking to you. Is it going to be easy for you to be around group A and achieve your goal? Group A is those who want to eat outside, who want pastry shops, this, that. or group B who is already a fitness freak? So put in your answers whether you will lose weight with group A faster or with group B faster. Tell me what you think. Just type A or B. 100 out of 100% everybody believes that it's group B. And now I don't even need to tell you why. Because obviously if people are driving you towards that goal, then it becomes so easy, no? You're going with the flow. You don't have to do, you don't have to hurt your friends and tell them, no, yeah, today I don't want to come. I'm on a diet. Then they'll tell you, too much natak you have, huh? Like you're too much, okay? You always want to what? You want to become a model or what? All these hassles will always pull you back. But if you have a push, then you are just driven to do that. So your peer group is so important that please be very careful who you allow in your inner circle, your first circle, who are the people around you. If your own people are also not aligned with your goal, I'm not saying that abandon them or leave them, but restrict what you are taking inputs from them. Please restrict that. Okay, that is very important. Have a role model and have a beautiful peer group. The next is experience. Now, there can be so many stories and so many examples given, but because we are running short of time, I will not do that. But you can understand. Now, for experiencing, you will have to go out and do things. You will not always have to sit down and procrastinate because you are too hassled to think about the society. You're too hassled that if I put this post, what will my friends think? What will happen? What will my boyfriend tell me if I if I post this or if I make this video? If you're always in that worry, then you're never going to let experiences happen to you. For letting experiences happen, you don't need age. I know people who are 60-year-old and 70-year-old, and they have not tried half the things of what 20-year-old people have tried, So it is not about age. It is not about your geography. It is not about nothing. It is about your own mindset and how much you're allowing yourself to get that experience. So first of all, I'm so proud of you to be here today because this is also an experience you have given yourself. You could have chosen to be anywhere else. You could have chosen to do anything else, but you chose to be here. You chose to learn. You chose to take this experience. So pat yourself on the back and give more and more opportunities to yourself to gain these kind of experiences. Assertiveness. Now, assertiveness is again very important because most of the times we don't raise our hands when we have a doubt. Okay, most of the times we don't raise our hands when we think something is wrong. Why we do that? Because again, the fear of being judged. What will the other person think? What if I come across as a stupid person? And so we will never raise our hand in the class, or we will never raise a hand when we have a question. We will never raise our hand when we think, "Arey, this is wrong." We never do that. So you need to raise your hand. You need to be assertive. You need to voice out. If you cannot voice out, you will never be confident because then you're suppressing yourself. You're telling your mind, it's okay. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to stress our minds. Right? So never do that. Always be assertive. Always stand up whenever you think you have to. Otherwise, don't talk about confidence building. Then sit in the safety zones that you have made for yourself. Then you'll never be able to be confident. Right? And last but not the least, keeping calm. Okay, stay calm. Now, whatever happened today, whoever was there with me on the conference call from your college and myself, we all handled this calmly and see, we could do this, right? Otherwise, again, it would have either got postponed or maybe never happened also. And this, you would have missed this and I would have missed such a beautiful audience like you, right? So just by staying calm, things just happen. And when you're not scared of anything, you will always be calm. So that is now your responsibility to keep yourself calm, how you work on your body, how you use your physiology. That's up to you. I think in the previous slide, after belief, there was practice also. So I did not emphasize on that because we all know what practice means. So the three things were physiology, belief system because your previous successes, and that's how it will keep happening, and practice. Now, after having understood the ways, now this is what the picture I was trying to tell you to take, because I will just quickly read it, but you must challenge yourself for confidence. Set yourself confidence targets that require you to step out of your comfort zone and do things that make you feel a degree of nervousness or apprehension. Why do you think people go for bungee jumping and scuba diving and skydiving? All of us love to have those adventure sports, isn't it? Yes, I'm sure you will agree to this. And what that does to us, it just, gives a shock to our brain, and we learn to become more and more confident. So I've done scuba diving twice. I'm not saying that has made me confident, but you never know. It has trained my brain. I have done a bungee jumping also. But even if you don't do that, at least you can go out and just talk to somebody about something that you are uncomfortable. That is also challenging your mind. Go by a public transport, which is a little unusual for you. I think let's read out these challenges. Potential confidence targets may include: start a task or project that you have been putting off for a long time. For example, you want to write a book, but you're just postponing it because you don't have the confidence. Will I write correctly? Will the grammar be correct? Will the sentences be fine? How to make paragraphs? Will some publisher publish it? And you don't do it. So any such project that you have been putting off, do it today. Challenge yourself. Become confident. Stand up and ask a question at a public meeting or in a public group. Now, this is difficult, but let me see if I open it up for questions, if any of you can shoot out a question to me. Let's see. Okay. With that, you do today only. I'm not sure if I can answer all, but if I cannot, then I will send you offline all the queries and questions that you have asked. Okay. So don't worry. Let's do it like a challenge first. Volunteer to give a presentation or make a speech. Create your own Zoom meeting, call your friends and give a presentation. Talk about something that you're planning to do, your project or something like that. That will build your confidence. And let some elders also come, let some teachers come, let somebody be the judge. Organize something for yourself. Break the pattern and just go for it. Okay? Travel solo. Now, if you're very young to do that, wait for a few years and then do it. But if you are already been to places alone or something, then you must be knowing traveling solo really makes us very confident. Why? Because we have to talk to strangers, because we have to always live in an uncertainty, because we don't know, there is nobody with us who's watching our back. So that is also one thing. Now, traveling solo doesn't mean go to Bangkok or go to Mauritius. That is not what I mean. But even if you go till maybe Lonavala or some place, or maybe from Sion to say Vashi or something, then definitely it will help, right? So try that. So these are some of the confidence challenges that you can take up. Now, overcoming nervousness. One part of it is building confidence. The second part of it is breaking your nervousness pattern. The human brain doesn't recognize the difference between nervousness and excitement. Do you know this? Did you know this? If you already knew this, type in a yes. If you didn't know this, type in a no. Just let me know if you knew about this. Okay. Dhaval says yes, Drishti says, and everybody else says no. Okay, great, Dhaval. I'm very glad that you know this. So I will tell you something about psychology today, because I'm also a psychologist. I'm a psychotherapist. Why I want to tell you this is, what will happen is when the heartbeats go high, when the palpitation starts happening, when all those symptoms of nervousness happen, your brain doesn't know it is nervousness, because if you will observe, so next time you observe, when you are excited, no, overexcited about something, some new idea, new love, new college, new this, new that, when you're excited, you're going to have the same thing, those shivers, those sweat, those excitement, that fast heartbeat, everything. Okay, so nervousness and excitement has very similar symptoms, and our mind doesn't recognize it. So the good news is, when you are nervous and you tell your mind, I'm not nervous, I'm excited, I want to do this, I'm going for it, you're going to feel much better. And when you feel much better, you're going to handle the situation much, much better. Right? So just remember this and apply this whenever you can, and you will see what happens. It will be like a nice turnaround for you. Okay? So remember this. Moving forward, why is this not moving forward? Choose courage over confidence. Say no to fear. Now, this doesn't even need me to explain you, but if you must have heard, the stories of people who have been so successful in their lives. If we talk about Steve Jobs, we talk about maybe Ritesh Agarwal, maybe anybody who is successful. It could be Yash Raj Films, okay, Yash Chopra. It could be anybody from any field who has chosen courage over confidence. Tata, Ratan Tata. You should just see the kind of decision that he makes. Ambani's, whether they have X way of doing business, whether they manipulate or whether they are doing it the right way, but they are doing it courageously. And whenever you do something courageously, then somewhere inside your heart, you know that you are doing the right thing, and that can never go wrong. So if you are sure about you're doing the right thing, then choose it. And that is a choice, okay? Nobody is going to come and give you a dose. Nobody is going to give you a medicine that will bring courage inside your heart. Today you have to decide that I'm going to live my life in courage or I'm going to live my life in fear. And if you will choose courage, confidence will automatically come. So if you ever have to choose between courage and confidence, choose courage. Because if you choose courage, if you choose to be fearless, you will automatically be confident. So don't go behind confidence as much as you must go behind courage. Confidence will automatically come. So Three Idiots you must have seen. I don't even need to ask because everybody will write a yes. Amir Khan says, काबिल बनने के लिए पढ़ो, कामयाबी झक मार के आएगी. What does that mean? That means that don't just study to get grades. Study so that you acquire knowledge. Similar is the case with confidence and courage. Okay, don't try to have courage to have confidence, but have confidence to make yourself courageous. And then automatically success will come your way. Say no to fear, okay? See, it's very easily said than done. Now, when COVID happened, we were all scared, okay? Fear prevailed on us, and we were all in the lockdown for like last 2.5 months. So, I'm not saying that it's easy. For me, it's very easy to say don't fear because I have trained myself now to come to that level where I'm not scared of anything. But it took me real awareness, real skill development, real knowledge, real pushing myself to do it. It is not going to be easy, but we have to do it. So Tomal is raising a hand. Okay. So if that was an acknowledgement, thank you. Okay, so say no to fear. Also, a small theory that I want to connect quickly with confidence is the theory of communication. The more we learn to communicate confidently, the more our nervous system starts becoming and practicing and experiencing confidence, and slowly it also helps us in courage building. So what are those things which make us communicate confidently? So I'm sorry. The three main aspects or the three only aspects of communication are our words, our tone, and our body language. So if, like I already told you, if your body language is confident, and what is a confident body language? It will not have drooping shoulders, it will have straight shoulders. Okay, it will always have a head held high. It will not have a head like this or like this or like this. No, it will have a head held high. It will always have a straight body even when you're sitting, even when you're standing. So your posture really makes you confident and it always portrays you as a confident person. The way you dress up, okay, it makes you look confident or not confident. If you're not comfortable with your own body and if you're wearing something which you are also not very sure whether it's suiting you or not, you will not be confident. So the way you carry yourself, the way you stand, the way you walk, that shows your confidence level, and that is 55% of the communication. So when I'm talking to you is not the only communication I'm doing. You can see the hand gestures, you can see the way I'm sitting, you can see, how I'm moving, or I'm not like this, and then I'm not sitting like this and talking that, okay, this is what if this would be my posture, how much would you be interested? Tell me. You would not be, because you would think that she's just sitting reading from somewhere and telling us. It will never ever give you that connect. So when you want to come across as confident, what is it that you have to do is maintain that confident posture. The next thing is your tone. Okay, now what does tone mean? If I will shout, it will make me look stupid. And if I will talk so slowly, that you will not be able to hear. Were you able to hear me? The last sentence that I spoke? No, right? Why? Because I have to maintain that tone and that pitch when I'm talking to you. If I would maintain the similar pitch and tone that I'm talking to you, if you were sitting right next to me, you would run away, because I'm literally talking so loudly. So you have to see which forum are you into and what kind of tonality do you require for that particular forum. If you're on the phone, it will be different. If you're sitting with a person, it will be different. Okay, so if you have a very low tone, it's going to make you come across as less confident. If you have too high tone, still less confident. You need to have the set tone for that particular forum. And last but not the least is your words, which is just 7%. So when I've projected myself confidently, when I have given you enough trust that, okay, you can confide in me, I'm talking in a particular way, my tone is in a particular way, my hair is in a particular way, okay. If I sit at home, I'm just tying that bun, I'm not sitting here in a bun. Okay, so everything that is speaking about me is making you listen to my words. Otherwise, you might probably not want to listen to it. So words is just 7%. Of course, we need to focus on that. But before that, we need to focus on the body language that we are carrying, the tone that we are carrying. Right? So this was an important aspect that I wanted to connect with confidence building, because most of the times we are scared to communicate. We are scared to speak what it is that we believe. Right? So I have tried to crunch it into the minimum time that I could, and I hope that I have added value to it. And with that, I really want to thank each one of you for being here. Before I open up for questions, there are feedback forms which might be circulated, which I will really request you to fill up, so that we know that what it is better that can be done, so that it helps you. Right? So with that, let me open to questions. If you have some questions impromptu, let me know. Otherwise, I have a list of questions which were told to me, which was sent to me initially also. So if we want to, you're most welcome, Chandrakant. I'm really glad that this has added some value to you.
चंद्रकांत कौन है रे?
क्या मैसेज? कुछ भी तो नहीं मैसेज किया.
तो माइक चालू किया.
जो स्टेज फ्राइट को ऐसे दूर करते लिखते थे.
You can unmute and ask me also if you want to. Or should I take questions?
पता नहीं.
You all are talking to each other and we can hear you, boys. So should I take the questions which were sent earlier? Okay, let me do that. So somebody had asked, how do we overcome inferiority complex? Okay. Guys, type your questions here and please mute yourself, guys. Okay. So you can please type your questions here meanwhile that I answer this question. See, now inferiority complex by itself is the product of the mental conditioning and the kind of, surroundings we have had since our childhood. So if we are brought up in a surroundings where, we were always told that, why do you get so many marks, or why do you look like this, or, if we have been bullied, or if our friends made fun of any of our features or something like that, then automatically that inferiority complex sets in. Okay, it can also be because of some people teasing you for your looks, some people teasing you for your dressing sense, or some of your relatives, or maybe in your family also, the kind of expectation parents have, and then if you're not able to meet it up, and when they tell you that why are you not able to do this and stuff, it automatically and subconsciously keeps sitting in your mind. And when that thing sits in your subconscious mind, then really there is a problem, and you start growing up in that inferiority complex. To beat that, to overcome that, you have to understand that you are not the product of what people tell you. You are the product of what you think and what you want to become. Okay, so as a younger girl, okay, when I was in maybe college or school time, my friends used to tease me for the shape of my nose. Okay, they used to say it is so funny and this and that, and I used to feel bad. Okay, I used to feel that inferiority complex, that maybe I'm not as good looking as XYZ, or maybe this or maybe that. But as I grew up, I thought it's okay. People don't love me for my nose. Okay, people love me for who I am and not how I look. Your look might attract somebody initially, but eventually it's your persona. It's who you really are that matters and that connects with other people. So if you're feeling low about your inferiority complex, or you're feeling inferior than anyone else, then you have to take a decision now that no, I'm not less than anybody, and I'm complete and best and superb in my own self. And it might look stupid to you, but I do this, and now my daughter also does this. And I look in the mirror and I'm like, aha, God, what beauty have you created? Do that. Be your own fans. Go follow Jab We Met, that Geet. We all need to be our favorites. That is very filmy and a cheesy line. But in reality, if you go to see, we need to be our own favorite. Why not? Yeah, so I hope that would answer that question. Okay, so Tripti asked how to handle expectation from other person in any terms. So Tripti, unfortunately, the world is such that at every point, expectations are going to be there. If we look at ourselves, we also have expectations, no? Starting from life itself. We expect that life should always be very good. Nothing wrong should happen. Nothing bad should happen. Nobody should reject us. We should get the best of everything all the time. 24/7, 365 days till we die. Isn't it? So that is our expectation. So when it's such a common thing to expect, that we also expect, then we will have to understand this, that everybody is going to have expectations. But the problem arises when people start holding us ransom for the expectations they have. That, sometimes if you don't want to do something for somebody, they just don't want to be with you. They will stop being your friends, or, even parents will get upset that, oh, this is what you were supposed to do, you didn't do it. So when the expectations start holding you ransom is when things become a little uncomfortable. So the best way to deal with or handle expectations from other people is to set a boundary. Once, if you know that, okay, this is the maximum that I want to do for a particular person, first you need to have clarity in your own head that till what extent you can stretch. Once you know that, you will have to put a boundary to that, because the only reason you're not putting that boundary is because you want to come across as a very good person. I'm so good, how can I say no? How can I upset somebody? Usko bura lagega na. That person will feel bad. How do I say no to that person? So in that realm of looking good all the time, being a people's pleaser, pleasing everybody, making everybody happy, you are feeling uncomfortable. So you have to draw that line. Now that is in your own hand, that how much you want to fear, how much you want to be into that illusion of being good all the time is totally your decision. You can take a decision now, you can set the boundary now that this is the maximum I can do, after this I cannot do. And trust me, at the most the person will feel bad, but the next time they will not have any expectations from you. So my friends, they keep telling me that why do you keep working so much? 24/7 you're working, you would never come out with us, you never do video call, you never this, never that, never that. But I tell them, if you need me, I'm there. No, I don't want to hang around because I love doing what I'm doing. So that is my choice. So now they know that if it's a time pass thing, then Jaya may or may not be available. So already that expectation is set. But if I will always want to be good, that, oh, my friends are inviting. If I don't go now, then, you know, they will just leave me. I will be like an outcast and I will not be allowed in their group and all that. If I will have all that fear, then that is my problem, isn't it? So leave all that fear. Nothing happens. In fact, you will make deeper and better relationships. So set that boundary for the expectations. I hope that has answered your question, Trupti. Okay, Chandrakant says, I'm getting a bit scared during my Viva exam. So I told you how you need to train your brain. How will you do that? You will first of all tell your brain, this is not nervousness, this is not fear, this is excitement. Number one. Number two, you will stop being scared by thinking that it's okay. Even if I fail, it's okay. It's okay. And trust me, you will never fail. Because if you have lost the fear of failure, has made you so confident that you will never fail. You will just go and do it. Because half the time we forget things while writing a paper or in Viva or in Viva or anything, is because we are really, really scared and nervous. So just tell your brain, it's over, boss. I'm not letting you be scared anymore. You have to now be brave and go and do it. Max, what will happen? Fail? No problem. No problem. Nothing will happen. Right? So you have to do this. I hope that will help, Chandrakant. Coming to Amresh. He says, how should a person show him or herself in front of the world? The natural one or the masked one? 100% natural. If you will meet me, if you will ask any of my relatives, I think my niece is also here in this group. If you ask my relatives, you ask my friends, you ask my parents, you ask my children, I am like this. I have a lot of fun. I am full of energy throughout. I don't have anger issues. I am like this. So make yourself the way you want to present yourself to the world, because there is everything inside us that we can be if we wish to. So if you're showing something to the world and you're being something else, then there is no problem to the world. For them, it is very good. You are showing that good picture, very good for them. But what about you? You are constantly fighting that battle within you. And constantly you're trying to juggle between being X and being Y. Why do you want such a life? It's worth nothing, my friend. It doesn't give you any brownie points. Be yourself. Stand up for yourself. Have no friends. It's okay. Don't run behind people just so that they can like you and that's why you want to be masked. Don't do that. And I'm telling you from whatever experience I have, 100 on 100, all those people who leave you because they cannot accept who you are anyways not worth being in your life. And people who love you for who you are and not your XYZ presentation, they will be with you in any case, no matter what happens. So 100 on 100%, be yourself. How should a person show him or herself? Okay, this is done. Okay. Chandrakant says, thank you, Chandrakant. I'm so glad. Saurav Kumar, ma'am, can you tell how to control anger? Controlling anger is the easiest thing. And I'll tell you why. Because if you're getting angry on somebody, first of all, you have given the entire control of the emotion to the opposite person, which means that that person is extremely important for you. And hence, you are angry about something and you're venting out that anger. But if you just sit down and think, no, it is not anger that is troubling you. It is just that you want to vent out something and it is coming out like an anger. Because dance...
Compound interest 5%, then calculate.
Sorry? Okay, so I was talking about anger management. Okay, so first I'm giving you the understanding behind it, so that even if you do breathing techniques or whatever, it will help you if you are aware about what is happening in your mind. So anger is not कि भाई, you want to go to the washroom and you cannot control it, and hence, it will just come out anywhere. It is not that. It is something that is very thoughtfully ingrained in your mind, because you have given up maybe on your tolerance levels, or you are like already frustrated about certain things, and small things can make you angry. Or else you know that, okay, this, I can do this to this person, and he will, or she will not go anywhere, and even if they go, I don't care. Then you will be angry. So the best way to keep yourself calm and be, not getting angry is, first of all, not have too many expectations from other people. Second thing is to understand that I am doing this on purpose. This is not happening to me. So I have two teenage kids, okay, 16 and 13. Okay, this age is the most rebellious age. So in that sense, every day I have to be angry with something or the other, because they want to play PUBG, they want to do all sorts of things which have never happened in my time. I don't even understand half the things. So what should I do then? Keep getting angry and do what? It will not work. Neither they will respect me for that, because every time if you're getting angry about something, you're losing that respect for, for yourself. So you have to understand that this is your choice, and you can keep calm if you want to. And the technique for that is to just take, like, 10 to 20 deep breaths when you're angry. And at that point, don't say anything when you're angry. Just keep quiet, or don't do any physical activity. Just keep quiet. If you want to do some physical activity, you feel like hitting the person, go take a big run and come. Or run inside the house, or jog in one place. Vent out that energy somewhere else. But anger is something that you choose to do. It has got nothing to do with controlling. You are allowing yourself to get angry, and then that's becoming more and more of your personality. So keep yourself calm, vent out your energy on a different thing, and don't be frustrated about anything. Okay, try to make your life better and better and better, instead of focusing on what is going wrong in your life. And again, in this, I will tell you, surround yourself with those kind of people who bring joy in you and not the anger in you. So I hope that will help. Trupti says, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Trupti. Amresh again says, what do you mean by success and failure in your own words? So for me, success is something that I have accomplished of whatever I wanted to do. That I do not judge success by the monetary aspect, or the material things that I have, or the fame that I have, or what. For me, success is that today I'm a happy person. I'm satisfied and content in my life. I have some few good people, good friends, my family around me, and I can be in a happy state of mind and a content state of mind all the time. I am not really, frustrated about anything. So that for me is success, and I will call myself successful. Failure for me, every day I face a failure, because I am a person, I have a lot of energy. So I keep trying new things every day. Even in my business, I will keep introducing new products so many times that, of course, out of 100, I will really tell you 80 times it fails. It doesn't work. Sometimes maybe the module may not be right. Sometimes the market requirement may not be there. So many things happen. And every time I fail in that. And for me, failure is a mentor. So because when I fail, I know that, okay, this is something that may not be my cup of tea, or maybe this is something that I'm not doing correctly. So it teaches me. So for me, success is the content state of mind that you can have, and not run behind things, and be happy in whatever it is. And by happy, I don't mean that be satisfied and don't have the hunger for more. Have the hunger, but don't be desperate or depressed because of that. Just go for it happily. And failure for me is essential. And every day or every week, you should at least have one failure. If you haven't had, then you are a failure by default, because you're being so safe. Right? So I hope that will help. How to react with people who are always ready to pull you down, or having some kind of jealousy by your success. Wow, go hug them. because that means you have something which they don't have, and that is why they are jealous. So those are the people. Ari, I will tell you, so many people copy my content, and there are some people who will tell me, aren't you insecure that if they copy your content and they sell it and they get better? I said, very good, this is giving me a proper audit that whatever is my content is so good that it is not only helping people, it is also being copied and it is bringing business to more people. That means now I don't need to go and test it anywhere, it is tested. So if somebody is jealous of you, first of all, be very proud, my friend, because pity is something that anybody can get, but jealousy you have to earn. So if you have earned jealousy, I'm very proud of you, because I love people who are jealous of me. And yes, they will try to put me down, because if they don't put me down, then they will not feel superior. So there are going to be people who are jealous of me and who will want to put me down. So I just think that, okay, it's their problem. Okay, you think that, okay, I'll tell you, even on my when I introduced my Power Up First course, I just priced it at 4,000. Okay, for that I got a comment that, are you insane, you think that in such a lockdown you should be charging people? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. So that, I mean, that should be my problem, what I think, because if I'm charging 4,000, I know that I'm giving value of at least 4 lakh. I'm making them capable of bringing back 4 lakhs in their life. So that means they're not losing anything. So the thing I'm trying to tell you is, there will be people, there will be so many people, known, unknown, who will want to put you down. So be happy and just tell them, okay, fine, thank you. Your feedback is noted. That's it. You don't even need to react. Just don't react. That's the best thing you can do. I hope that helps, Amrish. So Tomal asks, ma'am, I want to, okay, let's go to the next question. My question is that I want to be friend with someone and I know that she is good in her nature, but the peer, oh, why is this moving? But the peer in which she is in is making her or him believe that I am not a good person. So that should, so what should I do in that case? So what should I do in that case? So, okay, Mr. Anonymous, let me just tell you that if there is somebody who cannot trust you because of external factors and other people, first of all, doesn't even deserve to be in your life and doesn't even deserve the kind of time that you might want to spend on such a person. Having said that, if you're too attached, or if you're too much attracted or in love or whatever you might be, or I don't know what, of friendship or business, or in what respect you might want to be associated with this person, the best thing to be is just be yourself. Because the more you try to attract these kind of people and the more you try to make an effort, the more they will devalue you. So for your own sake, just put a break, just let it go for now. If you're not worthwhile for somebody, then I don't think it's even worth trying. So I would say that take a seat, step back, take a back seat and just hold on. See, make yourself so good that tomorrow when they look back at you and they're like, shit, what did I miss here? So invest that time and energy on yourself and develop yourself, that others look at you and say that, wow, yeah, I want to be his friend. I want to be around him. What a positive energy. What a beautiful life. Yeah, beautiful life. I don't mean by your monetary things. By it, I mean that how happy you are and how much happiness you can spread. So be that instead of trying to chase something or somebody who doesn't value you, and especially because somebody else is giving some picture. Or else try something to change that mentality or something. Just leave it. Vijay says, how not to crack jokes even when you are this. I get stuck in similar situation every time, and that individual gets more. Can somebody who's unmuted mute themselves? Please let me answer this question. So Vijay says how not to crack jokes. Vijay, let me tell you one thing. If you crack jokes in the right way, people will never get angry with you, but you will end up making beautiful relationships in your work life and your personal life, because humor is a very important aspect. So I don't know what kind of jokes you're cracking, but try to don't think that I don't want to crack jokes. Think that how I can use this humor in such a way that instead of that person feeling that he's making fun and he's not serious about this, he feels that, oh yeah, he wants to make me feel better. So that is one thing how you look at it. But if you really want to not crack jokes, is by not cracking jokes. Now what is the skill in that? Then it's better you speak less and you listen more. So that is also one very important aspect of communication, that it has to be a two-way listening. And in that, we have to be extremely, very, very, very accurate in our listening skills. More than talking, we must learn to listen. That itself solves most of the problems, whether it is cracking jokes or whether it is saying something wrong. Because the more you listen, the more you understand. And don't listen just to give the answer. Listen so that you can understand what the person is trying to tell you, and then you will never have a problem with either cracking jokes or saying something that has offended somebody. So I hope that has helped. And I know I have exceeded the time. I'm sorry about that, but you guys are so lovely. I love the questions coming. I love the energy that I can go on for another 1 hour also. So
Same here, ma'am. Same here from us. Actually, let me take a moment to thank you for being there. And it was so amazing to have you here with all of us.
my pleasure, totally.
And also thank you, Janvi, for your suggestion and helping us in contact ma'am and to help this happen. Thank you to all the participants who joined this session today. And please fill the feedback form before you leave. Also, we would like to thank Rote sir for always guiding us and helping us and giving us this platform to organize such sessions. Sir, would you like to say something? Rote sir?
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. On the behalf of KJ Somaiya Institute of Engineering and Information Technology, I would like to say thank you so much for your wonderful speech and giving us all the participants very confident way, and they are now doing their work in a confident way. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so with this, let's conclude this session. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Swati, you've really been a very supporting person. And thank you, Janvi. It means a lot for me to come and talk to you all. And you all were wonderful. I'm telling you, beautiful energy, so interactive. I'm very glad. And all of you who are saying thank you. Thanks to you till we meet again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Pleasure is all ours, ma'am. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.